I'm Matthew Zimmerman with the NBA, and we're here at Manufacturing Day. I'm here with Kyle from Airborne, who is our major sponsor for today's event. Kyle, I was wondering what makes Manufacturing Day so important to all these companies and the kids that come out today?
Yeah, really, honestly, Matt, it's just really the ability to come out here in front of the kids and have some fun, talk to them a lot about what the companies are doing, especially for somebody like ourselves, where very electronics driven, a lot of different industries that we're involved with. Kind of give the kids an opportunity to see some of the things that go into that beyond just a general spaceship or a general fighter jet or something. We can kind of show them a lot of the really fun stuff, the electronics oriented side of it, to really kind of help make that impact with them visually.
Awesome. And then, so what is one thing you hope these kids take away from this day?
Just to have fun and see that there's a lot of different opportunities out there for them down the road as they're growing, not to just limit it to one area, that there's a lot of possibilities, a lot of opportunities out there for them. And in a company like us with Airborne, when we have these electronics in very different ways, you can make that impact, whether it be just from an assembly level, an engineering level, production level, planning levels. There's all different ways that you can take it. So just if we can find a couple kids to pique that interest, that's a success of the day today for us.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
I'm Matthew Zimmerman with the NBA, and I'm here with our keynote speaker for the HR conference, Andrew Tarvin.
Andrew Tarvin.
So, Andrew, if you could quickly just describe what you do.
Sure. So I am, as far as I know, the world's first humor engineer,
Okay.
Which is clearly a made-up job title. But essentially, I used to be a computer science engineer, so I would solve problems or help organizations using things like technology and computer science. Now I help them solve workplace challenges, et cetera, using humor. So I thought that makes me a humor engineer.
All right, awesome. And then, so why is humor so important within the workforce?
Yeah, well, I think it comes down to me with a very simple, very dumb question that I shared in my keynote, which is, would you rather do something that is fun or not fun? And you would rather do
Something that's fun.
something that's fun, right? Yeah, like 99% of humans say they'd rather do something that is fun. And so it kind of stands to reason if you were to, make emails a little bit more fun, people would be more likely to read them. Or if you were to make your own work a little bit more fun, you'd be engaged in it more. And that's what the research shows us. And so humor is valuable because it gets people to listen, helps them to relieve stress. It gets it enhances leadership skills. There's 30 plus benefits to using it. So as an engineer, I like it because it helps me with the hardest thing I've ever had to work with, which is humans.
And then, so can I just get your overall thoughts on this year's HR conference?
What a fantastic day. What a delight to be here. I mean, food was amazing. from breakfast all through the snacks, etc., was delicious. But even more delicious than that were like the ideas and concepts. And so not only do you get a chance to come here, learn some ideas like humor or about growth mindset, etc., but you also get a chance to connect with other HR professionals. And I think a lot of times that's the real value, because it's not just what do you learn in the room, but what do you take away afterwards? And who can you call or pick up the phone and be like, hey, I noticed you were mentioning this, you solved this kind of thing. How can we do that as well? So it's a great value of, it's not just like watching a bunch of TED Talks online where you're dropping and learning knowledge, but at this point you're also picking up relationships and know-how and a community that you can go back and connect with.
My name is Adam Green. I'm a maintenance supervisor at Elwood National Forge. I took the supervisor training course. There's a lot of techniques to dealing with different situations in your facility and dealing with different types of personalities. Figuring out what my personality is to better suit the needs of the company on how to manage my people. So that was really helpful. Teachers were very informative and taught us different techniques to do this kind of stuff and gave us extra resources that we could look into. It's been really good. Lisa pointed me in the direction of some really good leadership skills people that I've been listening to, and that's really been helping me out. Since the beginning of the year, I've taken over quite a few more people So I've been able to use the skills to better judge my staff on where I need them to work and what talents they have with the talent mapping that we learned. Being able to talk to the different people in different ways and the strategies of communicating and bringing them in so that we get on a more personal level so that we're able to build a relationship and have that mutual respect for each other to work more cohesive as a team. Overall, is a very good course, and just recommend it to anybody that really is looking to advance in their leadership skills and be a better supervisor for their company.
My name is Carrie Addington. I'm a production supervisor at Elwood National Forge. I very much enjoyed the class, learning from other supervisors how they handle different situations and different personalities, working with Lisa and Tracy on how to handle different personalities and when somebody's angry, or just making sure you spend enough time with each employee to know that you really care about what they're doing. I have a few guys that are a little hot-tempered, so simply from saying let's take a walk and just talking about non-work things and keeping track all year long of their progress so that when it comes time for review, I've had the paperwork and stuff to show them things that they've done and where they've improved. Learning to accept, different people and not everybody's the same. Mostly just the different personalities that we deal with on a daily basis.
Recommend other people to take classes?
Oh my gosh, yes. It was a wonderful class. We really enjoyed it. We had a lot of class communication and discussions, and it really helped me a lot become a better supervisor, yes.
I'm Matt Zimmerman with the MBA, and I'm here with our first ever HR Person of the Year winner, Stella LaPaglia.
MBA's 2023 HR Person of the Year. So Stella, please come up and receive your award.
Can you just briefly describe what you do?
I am the Human Resources Vice President for Marquette Savings Bank. I've been with them for 14 and a half years. I oversee human resources, benefits administration, employee relations, training and organizational development.
And then can you just describe what this award means to you?
Being nominated for this award was really a special experience for me. Being nominated by two of my peers in the local professional human resources arena and one of my employees. It was flattering to read what they wrote. It was kind of overwhelming. And I know a lot of the HR people here today and feel very honored to be among them and be considered for this.
Yeah, well, that's great. And then if you could also describe the importance of the HR conference as a whole.
The conference today was amazing. A lot of learning, a lot of professional interaction, and ending the day with humor and a speaker who kind of brought it all together at the end for us was wonderful.
All right, well, great. Thank you, and congratulations on the award.
Thank you, man.
Of course. The NBA hosted their legislative luncheon on January 23rd, held here at the NBA's Conference Center. Guests heard from Pennsylvania State Senator Gene Yaw, who shared valuable insights on how critical energy issues will impact Pennsylvania this year.
We talked about some of the issues involved with generation, transmission, how Pennsylvania is dealing with some of these issues, what we need to do in Pennsylvania to encourage more generation. As the demand for electricity goes up, we are closing down our base load generation capacity. We need to replace it with equal types of power, and quite frankly, we're not doing that right now, which is it's a huge issue, and it's one that needs to be addressed here in Pennsylvania.
Senator Yaw also talked about the importance of increasing generation capacity in the state of Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania has a lot of generation capacity. We have more than what we need, so we export it, which means it's a huge business for Pennsylvania to be a generator and be able to export the excess. It's profitable. It's a large part of Pennsylvania. We have the natural resources, mainly natural gas, here to be a generator, and we need to promote that. It was a very good discussion, Q&A back and forth with people, and I really appreciated the input from MBA and what they did today.
I'm Matthew Zimmerman with the MBA, and I had a chance to talk with Walter Iwanenko, president of Gannon University, on his Eggs and Issues presentation, The Demographic Cliff. Here's what he had to say.
So our birth rates have gone down. So there's simply less 18-year-olds that are going to be ready to take on the college experience. On top of a decreasing birth rate, we also have less students deciding to go to college, which is really causing some intense competition between colleges and universities, but it also translates to how are businesses going to be able to hire over the next 20 years with this shrinking demographic.
Iwanenko also talked about what Gannon is doing to combat the issues universities around the country are facing.
Well, what we're trying to do is we're trying to be really innovative in our degree offerings. So we're launching a new program in business aviation. It's aviation management. So it's a business degree paired up with a pilot's license so that students, when they graduate, they can get right into the workforce and be able to provide for their families. So we need to rethink how we're delivering our education. So that's one example.
He also mentioned how the changes Gannon is making can impact the community.
We want our graduates to stay in Erie because we need to build up our population, we need to build up our tax base. So we want them to get jobs and make the decision to stay here. So it's really going to help develop our business ecosystem. The more opportunities we can provide our graduates, and not just from Gannon, but from all the universities, to stay and live in Erie.
My name is Vic Aaronhammer, and I work at Ajax Eco Erie Press. I'm an electrical lead, assembly leader. I attended the leadership training course. I've taken several courses, other courses, previous jobs, and they kind of differ a little bit, from time to time. I took a class during COVID, a similar class, the leadership course, and it was online course, and over 6 months, and I actually took more of the what I did with Tracy because it was hands-on. It was, I was going through communication, how to manage with different types of people, different types of leadership and things like that. The type of job that I'm involved in is manufacturing, so I'm always working with different types of people, different my peers, different leaders, supervisors, even the guys on the floor, on the shop floor. Just able to put that into action, just all the tips and everything that we learned throughout the course. It's something I was able to use every day. So it was a great course. I highly recommend it. I've been recommending it to my other peers and the work colleagues of mine to take the same course that I did, the leadership course, and everybody goes through certain types of conflicts of issue, whether it's at work, even at home, personal life, and it's something the course covered through. And one particular colleague is going through a couple of things, and I've been recommending him to really take the course, and which he's going to take a lot of, and it's going to give him important tips and how to manage those things.
The MBA hosted their Economic Outlook Impact Luncheon here at the Conference Center on Wednesday, December 18th. Guests heard from Dr. Ken Louie of the Economic Research Institute of Erie at Penn State Barron and Brian Pietrangelo of Key Private Bank. Both economists shared their research for 2025. Here's what Dr. Ken Louie had to say.
I talked about what's been happening here locally, both in the recent past, what the current conditions are, and what we can expect going forward. And the major takeaway is that the Erie economy actually has shown a lot of resilience and stability. It's really holding its own. We grew about 1.5% last year, so we're moving in the right direction.
Dr. Louie also talked about the importance of an event like this one held at the MBA.
This event is held annually. The Manufacturing Business Association do a great job every year bringing together local business leaders. And our major goal actually is to share our research about these economic trends and to have local business leaders use them to make more informed, more fact-based decisions in their own organization. So it's really a more applied kind of setting when we bring our research to local leaders in the community.
I'm Matthew Zimmerman with the MBA. We had a record crowd in attendance for the Women in Leadership Impact Luncheon held here, where guests heard from keynote speaker Jenny Haggerty from the Mercy Center for Women.
Really hats off to the Manufacturers Association this year by picking a social service agency to come on board and to speak to a wonderful crowd of individuals allows for us to share our story. What is it like to be homeless? What is it like to be abused or have a family member who is active in their addiction seeking help? They have provided a knowledge here today for the individuals who were in attendance to take with them and hopefully serve and make a difference in the community moving forward.
Jenny Haggerty delivered an empowering and motivating presentation on leadership and shared some messages she hopes the guests could take with them from the event.
The importance of teamwork in leadership, the ability to open your eyes and see that others around you need to be mentored, need to be educated, to share gratitude for the opportunity to be in an area where you're able to help and serve others, and just be the best person you can be every single day of the week.
She also shared some goals she and her team have at the Mercy Center for 2024.
Our goals would be to make sure that everybody that we serve is self-sufficient and receives permanent housing, education, a job. We hope to grow our mission, hopefully maybe purchase something else and even help more people that are in need, and always just do the best work that we can for everybody here in the community.
I'm Matthew Zimmerman with the MBA, and I had a chance to talk with Pennsylvania State Senator Dan Laughlin after the legislative luncheon event held here at the MBA on February 28th. One key point he touched on was the importance of reliable energy for the state of Pennsylvania.
We talked a lot about energy, and I think grid reliability obviously should matter to everybody, but especially our manufacturers. They have to compete on a global scale, and having reliable, inexpensive energy is obviously pretty important to our manufacturers, especially the heavy users up here. So I do worry about that. And our grid is really getting stretched thin, and we need to take that very seriously.
He also briefly touched on the state budget.
We're early in the budget process. The budget won't be done until probably the end of June, so there's clearly going to be a lot of negotiating that goes on between now and then. I would say this. I think one of the things that's probably a little bright point, if you will, is Governor Shapiro does like to be successful. And I think we can use that to our advantage as we negotiate with him on some of these budget topics.
Dan Laughlin also spoke on the importance of an event such as the legislative luncheon.
Anytime you get a chance to come out and talk to a group like this of business leaders and our educators is important. It helps get the message out, and they can talk to their friends as well and let them know where Harrisburg is, what they're thinking, and then I can take the feedback that I get too through the questions and stuff back to my Senate colleagues to let them know what's important in Erie County.
My name is Cody Light, and I'm currently employed as a production control planner with Erie's the XL 1, 2, and 3. Very well organized. I think Casey's an excellent trainer, and especially I feel like that's XL as a whole is not really going away anytime soon, so it'd be valuable even in my position along with almost everyone here at Erie's, given that for me you have to do a lot of inventory management of the work orders out on the floor, as well as what we actually need to keep in stock from some of our suppliers, so it's an easy tool to do that, especially with some of the stuff that she taught us in the course. Understand how to manage the spreadsheets and keep track of things, and then with the formatting and everything, it makes it a lot easier for the person that's utilizing Excel or to make it more user-friendly. Yeah, a lot of the training involved would actually help anyone here at Erie's or in other industries as well, so you really can't go wrong with doing it. My name is Kyle Light. I work in corporate finance and accounting, and I truly do think that Excel is sometimes overlooked as how powerful a tool it can be within your organization, but very well structured, organized, and a great training coordinator, which was Casey. We do a lot of budgeting and forecasting for sales and a lot of just data analysis, so to see the power of even just the pivot tables and the ability to manipulate data is incredibly important for especially finance and accounting, which is where I am. So.
My name is Tina Swanson, and I am the Environmental Health and Safety Manager. Part of my responsibilities is to schedule training to be reimbursed through the WEDNET training grant. Scheduling a large group of people, it was beneficial to use the Manufacturers and Business Association because they make on-site training so easy. It was definitely needed. A lot of people did not have the skills, even basic Excel, let alone the more advanced skills that we were asking them to have. So it really did well, and the employees said it was a very good class. The employees gave great feedback about the trainer, Casey, so I would utilize her again and recommend her to anyone else.
I'm Matthew Zimmerman with the MBA, and I'm here in the Founders Room where guests gathered for the legislative breakfast held on May 8th to hear from Ben Kirshner, on what the state is doing to invest in new and existing businesses in Pennsylvania.
So Governor Shapiro, when he was on the campaign trail, he heard from the business community how difficult it was to do business in Pennsylvania, how it was hard to get permits, our incentives were not up to par compared to our other states, the customer service was not up to par for what the business community is expecting. And he turned to me after he won the election and said, would you mind coming to fix all the business issues in Pennsylvania? And so our office was born as an Office of Transformation and Opportunity. And so what we explain here today is the office's North Star, which is to make Pennsylvania a top 10 state to do business in. Today we're 19th, according to CNBC Top 50. And so today's talk was all about how we are breaking down the barriers and creating opportunities to break into the top 10 best places to start a business.
Kirshner also talked about the importance of an event like this held at the MBA.
I love coming to events like this and talking to the business community because this is how I get my ideas to things to fix. When I first took this job and I changed my LinkedIn profile to this role, I became, I thought, the customer service inbox for the business community. And I still get lots of emails and outreach from the business community of issues they're running into, frustrations they have, and my job is really to help solve those problems and connect the dots. And there are some structural issues that existed within the government, things that were just never looked at, people who've worked there for a while who said no one's asked for help, no one's offered to help me. So our role is really to help get answers for people.
My name's Vic Aaronhammer, and I work at Ajax Eco Area Press. I'm an electrical lead assembly leader. I attended the Excel training course. I thought it was fantastic because I actually took like an online class, and you can't beat our hands-on in person training. The first component, the level 1, I actually took a lot from, which I'm actually going to skip because I thought I knew enough of the beginner's class, but it turns out I didn't. So I was pretty blown away with all the everything was covered. So it was a great course. You know, I do a lot of reports, gather a lot of data, you know, for production side of things, manufacturing. So I was able to, from what I learned from the training, I was able to, you know, create Excel report that I wasn't able to do. That probably would have taken me hours to do, or maybe even days. Now I can do it like minutes. So that's fantastic.
I'm Matthew Zimmerman of the Manufacturer and Business Association. The MBA hosted their Pittsburgh Works in Erie event on May 29th, sponsored by Pittsburgh Works Together and National Fuel. Guests heard from panelists Mike Kolpois, Senior Vice President of National Fuel, Jeff Naubers, Executive Director of the Builders Guild of Western Pennsylvania and Pittsburgh Works Together, as well as Michael Hooer, President of the People's Division of Essential Utilities. The three panelists discussed the importance of businesses working together with union leaders and executives.
The overall message was the importance of the collaboration between business and labor to try to advance economic growth policies in the state of PA. Obviously, I think one of the things was to leverage the vast energy resources that we have.
Mike Kolpois also talked about the importance of political leaders attending events like this one.
I think it's very important. You know, Senator Laughlin in particular, I know the group met with him yesterday and really did a pretty deep dive into, you know, some policy objectives that we can address down in Harrisburg. And I think it's a great opportunity for Mayor Schember just to hear about the overall importance of energy. And I know he's big on family sustaining jobs. He's run on that as part of his platform each of the times that he's run. And I think it's important for him to understand that, you know, we are certainly on board with that, and we provide many of those types of jobs ourselves.
Lastly, Mike Kolpois talked about the importance of events like this one held at the MBA.
The MBA does such a great job with these forums in educating our community. The main things, I think, the takeaways is for people to take these facts that they learn and the policies that they learn through forums like this and share them with their families, friends, employees, and anybody in their sphere of influence to help advance, like in this case, economic growth.
The NBA hosted an Eggs and Issues briefing on January 30th, held here at the NBA's Conference Center. Guests heard from Craig Palmer, CEO of Erie Waterworks, who discussed the company's Get Lead Out initiative.
Our Get the Lead Out initiative is really an aggressive approach to eradicating lead piping from the water distribution system. Most of that piping is within the city of Erie. And what we know is that no level of lead is acceptable. Lead affects organs, IQ. And while I can say this, our water does not have lead in it, right? We use effective treatment to prevent lead from getting into the water system. But out of an abundance of caution, in the name of public safety, the concept is to remove the lead, physically remove that risk. And so that effort is what we're aggressively pursuing. We've obtained almost $50 million in the past 3 years to eradicate lead, $40 million in grant money, which totally offsets and helps our rates. And so it's really in the name of public health that we're so aggressively approaching this.
Craig Palmer also discussed Erie Waterworks' TAP 814 project.
TAP 814 is about community awareness. We want our consumers to know how important it is to have access to tap water. So we're branding public drinking fountains in public spaces with some creative marketing and QR code that the user can launch to our TAP 14 website and really learn about the value proposition of our water, our quality, our value, our team, our investment, and public safety and health. And so it's a fun initiative that to really get out there and help consumers access tap water easier in their refillable vessels and really promote that versus bottled water.
The NBA kicked off their 2025 Executive Speaker Series with a healthcare panel held here in the NBA's Conference Center on February 19th. Guests heard from Brian Durniak, president of UPMC Hammett, Dr. Chris Clark, president of AHN St. Vincent, and Dr. Danielle Hansen, regional president of LECOM Health. Here's what each panelist had to say about the event.
So today we had a panel discussion where we had the leaders of the local healthcare systems come together and sit on a panel, and I had the opportunity to share some of our challenges, some of our successes with other leaders in different industries across the community.
The benefit is whether you're in healthcare or you're in manufacturing, we have a lot of the same challenges, whether it's workforce, engaging your workforce, learning, managing through challenges. I think it's just a great opportunity for us to be able to share our best practices.
I was privileged to be a part of this event today, working with my colleagues in the other health systems in the community and talking about important healthcare topics with a very broad audience. So glad to be a part of this event, and I hope it was helpful for those that were listening in.
The panelists also talked about the importance of events like this one hosted at the NBA.
I think it's a fantastic opportunity because many times the leaders of different organizations don't have any peers within their organizations or that they necessarily encounter on a regular basis. So bringing folks together where they then can generate some of those relationships, do some networking, where then they can have somebody to share their experiences with, learn from one another and grow is really valuable.
I give a lot of credit to the NBA for pulling this event together and the three leaders of the health systems from the region. We haven't been together ever since all of us have been in our positions. So this is a great opportunity, and everyone has questions and needs healthcare for sure. So this is a great event for the MBA to put together with good dialogue and good discussion and promoting all the challenges that are out there, but also the innovative approaches that the health systems are taking to respond to those challenges.
I think this information sharing and this networking is important to have a vibrant community. And whether you're in healthcare or you're in manufacturing, the collective strength of all the leaders in Erie is what makes us successful. And I think having the opportunity to share this information always makes us a better community.
Hi, I'm Benjamin Kraft. I'm the production supervisor. Been here 5 years, going on 6. Well, I took the supervisory class and then also the public speaking class. You know, I'm glad to actually take those classes. Before here, I was a sergeant at the Warren County Prison for 15 years. Did a lot of public speaking. I've been in a lot of campaigns, but it helps with a lot of things, tools that I didn't have. You know, like I said, I've been supervisor most of my career. It still gave me a lot more tools to use in my toolbox for my everyday here. But yeah, I recommend it to everybody. One thing I enjoyed about this was to interact with other companies and other people. I think that helped me and my other coworkers that was with me out to interact with and to see how other companies worked and how those guys interacted with their people, and then just and making a good network of people to be able to reach out to when you have a problem that they might have a solution to. So that's one of the things I really enjoyed about this.
Abe Bigelow, I'm the training manager. I've been here for about 4 years. When we had the team that we just sent up, we were looking at options to help develop and help them grow in their abilities. Some of them were new to supervising, some of them have been doing it for a while, and we were trying to figure out really something to combine with what we're doing on site and build on it and create a group set of skills that everybody understands and a common language. And so being familiar with what you were offering, I knew that it was the right choice for our teams. I know for me, I've definitely gained a lot in all the classes that I've taken up there. It's certainly helped me propel my career forward. I think when I took the first class up there, I wasn't in any level of leadership yet. I was hoping to, start leading a small group and build from there. And at this point, I'm in charge of training for around 300 people, so it's been a progression. I would absolutely recommend anybody who's looking to upskill their people, be it in supervisory skills, soft skills like that. We've had quite a few people go for Microsoft Suite, so Excel training. Everybody who's gone through training has come back with skills and abilities that they definitely didn't have, not just come back with a better understanding, but been able to put what they've learned to practical use. And I think that's probably the most important part, and I would certainly recommend it to anybody thinking about anything that's offered at the MBA.